The massive screen in Earth's Defense Command Center flickered to life, displaying an alien face that looked like polished crystal. High Commander Gray of the Galactic Council spoke with a voice that seemed to echo through space itself. To all spacefaring species of the known universe, we present a challenge. The crystalline being's voice filled the room. 3 resource-rich star systems await the victor of our great contest. Let those who dare step forward. Captain Tom stood at the front of Earth's command center, his weathered face reflecting the blue light from the screen. Around him, other military leaders whispered among themselves. Earth had only joined the galactic community 5 years ago, and many alien species still looked down on humans as primitive beings from a hostile planet. The challenges will test survival skills, combatability, and endurance, High Commander Gray continued. Each participating species may send their best team of warriors. Dr. Smith, Earth's chief scientist, stepped forward. Captain, they're baiting us. They call Earth a death world because they think it's too dangerous to live here. They expect us to fail. Captain Tom smiled. It wasn't a friendly smile. Then let's show them what Death Worlders can do. The next day, representatives from various alien species gathered at the Galactic Council's virtual meeting. The crystal beings showed off their light-bending technology. The gas giants demonstrated their ability to change form. The silicon life forms displayed their unbreakable bodies. The energy forms simply glowed with power. When Earth's turn came, Captain Tom stood alone at the transmission point. Earth accepts your challenge. Laughter erupted from the alien representatives. The crystal being ambassador's voice cut through the noise. You send your primitives to compete. Your species still uses projectile weapons and hasn't even colonized your own solar system properly. Correction, Tom said calmly. We send Earth's finest. We may be primitive by your standards, but we survived on a planet that would kill most of you in minutes. The energy form representative glowed brighter. Your atmosphere alone is corrosive. Your world experiences extreme temperature changes, constant geological upheavals, and dangerous radiation from your sun. How can such primitive beings hope to compete? Lieutenant Ray, standing behind Tom, whispered, They really don't get it, do they? Commander Jane stepped forward to stand beside Tom. Her scared face told its own story of survival. Those things you list as weaknesses, they're exactly why you should fear us. The council chamber fell silent. High Commander Gray's crystal face showed no emotion, but his voice carried a hint of curiosity. Explain. Every human on our team grew up on what you call a death world, Jane said. We survived daily radiation from our sun. We endured temperatures from freezing to boiling. We evolved on a planet trying to kill us every day. And we didn't just survive. We became the apex predators. Tom nodded. You think we're primitive because we still use simple weapons. We don't need fancy technology to be deadly. We're dangerous because we never stopped fighting to survive. The alien representatives muttered among themselves. High Commander Gray raised a crystalline hand for silence. Your confidence is noted, humans. The challenge begins in 7 planetary rotations. The first test will take place on the neutral world of Haven. May the most worthy species claim victory. As the transmission ended, Dr. Smith turned to Tom. They're already underestimating us. The other species rely too much on their advanced technology. Good, Tom said, watching his team prepare their basic but reliable equipment. Let them think we're primitive. Let them mock our simple weapons and tools. He picked up an old combat knife, testing its edge. They'll learn soon enough why every species in the galaxy calls Earth a death world, and why challenging its people was their biggest mistake. The team began their final preparations. In 7 days, the galaxy would learn why humans were the most dangerous species in the universe, not because of their technology, but because they had evolved on a world that forced them to become something terrifying. Survivors who never stopped fighting. The Luna base hummed with activity as Earth's military leaders gathered in the underground training facility. The metal walls reflected the harsh lighting. casting sharp shadows across the determined faces of humanity's chosen warriors. Commander Jane stood before a holographic display of Haven, the neutral planet where the challenge would begin. This world has 3 different climate zones, she explained to the team. Arctic wastelands in the north, burning deserts in the middle, and thick jungles in the south. The aliens think this makes it impossible for any single species to survive all zones. Captain Tom smiled as he checked his basic survival gear. They forget that Earth has all these environments. We've lived in worse. Through the base's observation windows, they could see the alien ships arriving in Earth's orbit. Each vessel displayed incredible technology. The crystal being's ship bent light around itself. The gas giants used a living ship that changed shape. The silicon life traveled in a vessel made of pure energy, and the energy forms merely existed in a bubble of pure power. In comparison, Earth's ship looked plain and simple. It was built of metal and ceramic, using basic rocket technology that the other species had abandoned centuries ago. "Look at them showing off," Lieutenant Ray said, cleaning his rifle. "All that fancy tech won't help them when they're stuck in a blizzard or fighting through a jungle." Dr. Smith walked in carrying a box of simple tools: knives, fire starters, water filters, and rope. "While they rely on their advanced gear, we'll use what we know works. Everything here has been tested in Earth's harshest environments." The team spent the next 5 days training. They ran drills in Earth's deserts, practicing survival skills in the burning heat. They climbed mountains in freezing temperatures, testing their endurance. They fought through thick forests, learning to move silently and use the environment to their advantage. On the 6th day, the alien representatives requested a tour of Earth's training facility. They walked through the Luna base, their faces showing disgust and amusement at the primitive setup. "You train with physical weights?" the crystal being ambassador asked, watching humans lift in the gym. "Why not use gravity controllers?" "Because weights don't break," Tom replied simply, "and they work even when technology fails." The gas giant representative floated near the weapon rack. "Such basic tools. We have weapons that can think for themselves." Jane picked up a simple combat knife. "This doesn't need to think. It just needs to cut." The energy form glowed brighter, a sign of amusement. "Your species is strange. You have access to advanced technology, yet you choose to stay primitive." Dr. Smith stepped forward. "We choose to stay effective. Every tool here has been tested in conditions that would destroy your fancy gear. We trust what works." As the aliens left, clearly unimpressed, Tom gathered his team. "They think we're weak because we're simple. They don't understand that Earth made us strong long before we had any technology." The final day of preparation arrived. While the alien teams loaded their ships with complex survival gear and advanced weapons, the human team packed light. Each member carried only what they could hold: basic weapons, simple tools, and the knowledge gained from surviving on a world that had shaped them into perfect survivors. "Remember," Jane told the team as they boarded their ship, "they think Earth is a death world because it's too dangerous. They never stop to ask what kind of species could evolve there and become the apex predator." Tom looked at his team. Each member chosen not for their technology or special powers, but for their ability to adapt and survive. Tomorrow, they learn why challenging Death Worlders was a mistake. Tomorrow, we show them what humans can do. The simple Earth ship lifted off, heading toward Haven. Behind them, the advanced alien vessels glittered like stars. But in the hearts of the human team, there burned something far more dangerous than any technology: the unbreakable spirit of a species that had conquered a death world. Haven's 3 suns rose over the horizon, casting multiple shadows across the gathering area. 5 ships landed on the neutral world's central platform, 4 gleaming with advanced technology, and 1 simple Earth vessel that looked out of place among them. High Commander Gray's hologram appeared before the assembled teams. "Welcome to the first challenge. Each team must survive for 3 planetary cycles in Haven's northern zone. The temperature drops to -100 degrees during nighttime. Your goal is simple: survive and reach the checkpoint. The alien teams quickly activated their protective gear. The crystal beings generated force fields around themselves. The gas giants transformed their bodies to resist the cold. The silicon life forms covered themselves in energy shields. The energy forms simply glowed brighter. Captain Tom's team pulled out their basic cold weather gear. Thick suits designed for Earth's polar regions, tested in the harshest blizzards their world could produce. Look at the primitives with their physical protection, the crystal being leader laughed. They'll freeze before the first night. The teams set out across the frozen wasteland. The alien groups moved quickly, their technology letting them glide over the ice and snow. The humans walked steadily, conserving their energy, reading the terrain like their ancestors had done for thousands of years. Night fell. The temperature plummeted. The alien teams huddled in their energy shields and force fields, burning through power to stay warm. The humans found natural shelter in an ice cave, built a small fire using local materials, and shared stories of winter survival back on Earth. Their tech is already starting to fail, Lieutenant Ray observed, watching the aliens through his binoculars. The cold was affecting their power sources, making their protective fields flicker. By the second day, the real challenges began. A massive storm hit the region, bringing winds that could cut through metal. The aliens' energy shields started failing one by one. The crystal beings' force fields shattered in the extreme cold. The gas giants struggled to maintain their form in the fierce wind. But the humans, they dug snow shelters like their ancestors had done, used their knowledge of survival to stay warm, and kept moving forward. Their simple gear, built to withstand Earth's worst storms, didn't break or run out of power. Impossible. The Silicon Life Coordinator shouted over the howling wind. How are they surviving without advanced protection? Dr. Smith smiled as he helped secure their shelter. We evolved on a world with winters that could freeze you solid. Did they think we survived Earth's ice ages with force fields? On the third day, the energy forms were the first to quit, their power depleted by the constant cold. The gas giants followed, unable to maintain their form in the harsh conditions. The crystal beings and silicon life struggled forward, their technology barely functioning. The human team reached the checkpoint first, looking tired but alive. They had lost no one. Their simple gear was worn but still working. Years of evolution on a death world had taught them how to survive far worse conditions. High Commander Gray's hologram appeared again, his crystal face showing what might have been surprise. The Earth team has completed the challenge first. This is unexpected. Commander Jane stood proud despite her exhaustion. Not unexpected for us. This is what humans do. We survive. The remaining alien teams arrived hours later, their advanced technology in ruins. They stared at the humans with new eyes, not seeing primitives anymore, but something far more dangerous. A species that had mastered survival without relying on technology. This was just the first challenge, Tom reminded his team as they rested. They thought the cold would break us. Wait until they see what else Earth has taught us. The alien observers whispered among themselves, finally beginning to understand. They had assumed advanced technology was the key to survival. But these humans, these Death Worlders, had proved something different. Sometimes the simplest solutions were the most effective, especially when backed by millions of years of evolution on a world that had trained them to survive anything. The burning desert of Haven's equator stretched endlessly under the three suns. High Commander Gray's hologram flickered in the heat as he announced the second challenge. Combat trials, the crystalline being declared. Each team must cross 20 miles of desert while defending against automated combat drones. The drones will use non-lethal weapons, but the pain is very real. The alien teams immediately activated their combat systems. The crystal beings created glowing armor that bent light around them, making them nearly invisible. The gas giants formed themselves into living weapons. The silicon life covered themselves in energy-absorbing shields. The energy forms pulsed with deadly power. Captain Tom's team checked their simple gear one last time. basic camouflage clothing, water containers, combat knives, light rifles. The aliens laughed at their primitive equipment. "This will be quick," the gas giant commander boasted. "Their simple weapons can't possibly compete with our advanced combat systems." The challenge began at midday. The alien teams charged forward, their advanced technology blazing against the attacking drones. Energy beams lit up the sky. Force fields flashed. The desert turned into a light show of advanced warfare. But the humans, they disappeared. Where did the primitives go? The Silicon Life coordinator asked, watching his sensors show nothing. The Earth team had vanished into the desert landscape. They moved like ghosts, using the terrain for cover, just as their ancestors had done when hunting on the African savanna. No fancy tech, no glowing shields, just pure skill and countless generations of combat experience. The first sign of their presence came when several drones suddenly dropped from the sky, disabled by precise shots from positions nobody could spot. The humans were using the oldest hunting technique known to their species: patience. "Impossible," the crystal being leader shouted as more drones fell. "They're just using simple projectile weapons." Lieutenant Ray smiled from his hidden position as he lined up another shot. Simple doesn't mean ineffective. By the afternoon, the alien teams were struggling. Their energy weapons drew attention from the drones. Their glowing shields made them easy targets. Their advanced tech was failing in the intense heat. The humans moved like water through the desert, appearing and disappearing at will. They used simple tricks that had worked for thousands of years: distractions, decoys, and perfect timing. When direct combat was necessary, they fought with the brutal efficiency that had made them Earth's apex predators. "They're not fighting like an advanced species," the Energy Form director observed, watching another group of drones fall to precisely aimed shots and clever traps. "That's because we're not fighting with technology," Commander Jane replied through the communications channel. "We're fighting with experience earned through endless combat on Earth. Every human conflict, every survival situation, every hunt. It's all led to this." As the third sun set, only two teams had reached the checkpoint: the humans and the crystal beings. The others had been forced to withdraw, their advanced systems overwhelmed by the combination of heat, sand, and constant combat. High Commander Gray's hologram appeared again. "The Earth team has exceeded expectations. Their combat efficiency is remarkable." "Not remarkable," Tom corrected, cleaning sand from his rifle. "Natural. Everything on Earth is either predator or prey. We learned to be very good predators." The alien observers muttered among themselves, their confidence shaken. These humans didn't fight like a civilized species. They fought like creatures shaped by millions of years of evolution on a death world. They fought like the apex predators they were. Dr. Smith checked his team for injuries as they rested. They thought technology would win this fight. They forgot that humans mastered combat long before we had advanced weapons. Everything we know about warfare, we learned the hard way. "And the next challenge?" Lieutenant Ray asked, helping patch up a minor wound. Tom looked at the setting suns. "They'll try something bigger, and we'll show them that challenging humans to combat was their second mistake. Their first was thinking we were primitive just because we keep things simple." Haven's thick jungle stretched before the remaining teams. Steam rose from the dense vegetation as all three suns beat down, creating a suffocating mix of heat and humidity. Only three teams remained: the humans, crystal beings, and Silicon Life. The others had withdrawn after the desert challenge. High Commander Gray's hologram appeared through the thick air. "The endurance challenge begins now. You must survive in this jungle for 5 days while constantly moving. Stay still for more than an hour, and you're disqualified. Sleep while moving. Eat while moving. Fight while moving." The crystal beings activated their stamina enhancement fields. The silicon life forms switched their bodies to continuous power mode. Their technology hummed with energy, ready to keep them going for days. The human team simply shouldered their packs and started walking. No stamina fields. The crystal being leader mocked. No energy enhancers. How primitive. Captain Tom didn't bother responding. His team moved with the steady pace of long-distance runners, the same pace their ancestors had used to chase prey until it collapsed from exhaustion. The first day passed in humid misery. The alien teams moved quickly, their technology letting them push through the jungle with ease. The humans moved slower but steadier, conserving energy, reading the jungle like their ancestors had done for countless generations. By the second day, cracks began to show. The crystal being's stamina fields flickered in the humidity. The silicon life's power systems struggled with the constant moisture. But the humans kept moving. Their bodies adapted to handle far worse conditions on Earth. How are they still going? The Silicon Life coordinator asked, watching the humans maintain their steady pace. They have no technological assistance. We don't need it, Commander Jane replied, her voice tired but strong. Humans evolved as persistence hunters. We can keep moving longer than almost any other species on Earth. The third day brought heavy rain. The alien team's technology began to fail. Their power sources couldn't handle the combination of humidity, heat, and constant movement. The silicon life forms withdrew first, their systems unable to maintain power. The crystal beings pushed on, but their once perfect formation became ragged. Their energy fields failed one by one. Still, the humans walked. They were tired, dirty, and sore, but they kept moving. Impossible, the crystal being leader gasped as another of his team collapsed. Your species is supposed to be primitive. Lieutenant Ray smiled through his exhaustion. You keep using that word. But you forget. We evolved on a world that tried to kill us every day. We learned to just keep going. Dr. Smith checked the team's vital signs as they walked. Our bodies are built for this. Earth gravity is higher than most worlds. Our muscles are denser. Our endurance is greater. Everything that makes Earth a death world made us stronger. The fourth day broke the crystal beings. Their last team member collapsed, their advanced technology finally giving out. Only the humans remained, still moving with the same steady pace they had started with. High Commander Gray's hologram appeared, showing actual emotion for the first time. Surprise. This is unprecedented. The Earth team has outlasted all others. Their endurance is remarkable. Not remarkable, Tom said, helping a tired teammate over a fallen tree. Natural. Everything that makes Earth deadly to other species made us what we are. We don't just survive. We thrive in conditions that break others. The final day ended with only the human team still moving. They were exhausted but unbroken. Their simple gear had weathered the jungle better than any advanced technology. Their bodies, shaped by millions of years on a death world, had proven stronger than any artificial enhancement. The alien observers watched in stunned silence. They had thought endurance would break these primitives. Instead, it had revealed their greatest strength, the unrelenting stamina that had made humans the apex predators of a death world. As the team finally stopped at the checkpoint, Commander Jane looked at the failed alien technology scattered through the jungle. They thought their machines could match what evolution spent millions of years perfecting. They're learning why that was their biggest mistake yet. The final challenge arena spread out before them. A massive valley combining all three environments they had faced before. Ice fields to the north, desert in the middle, and jungle to the south. Only two teams remained, the humans and the crystal beings, who had barely recovered from the endurance trial. High Commander Gray's hologram appeared larger than before. The final challenge combines everything. Survival, combat, endurance. But first, we must share the truth. The hologram flickered, and Gray's crystal face showed what looked like shame. This competition was never about finding the strongest species. It was about proving humans were too dangerous to join the galactic community. A shocked silence fell over the valley. Captain Tom's hand tightened on his rifle, but he stayed quiet. Your species scared us, Gray continued. A death world species that conquered their planet without advanced technology. We thought you were too primitive to be a threat. We were wrong. These challenges were designed to break you, to prove you weren't ready for the stars. Commander Jane stepped forward. So you set us up to fail. Created impossible challenges. Yes, Gray admitted. No species should have survived all three environments. No primitive weapons should have beaten our combat drones. No natural endurance should have outlasted our technology. Yet you did all of it. The crystal being leader raised his damaged energy weapon. We cannot let them win now. If they succeed, other Death World species might try to join the galactic community. Try to stop us, Lieutenant Ray said quietly, his team already moving into defensive positions. They had fought in conditions like this before, on Earth. Their muscles remembered. The final challenge exploded into chaos. The crystal beings, desperate to stop the humans, unleashed everything they had left. Energy beams cut through the air. Force fields shimmered across the valley. But the humans were ready. They had trained for this their whole lives, on a world that had taught them to fight, survive, and never give up. They moved like shadows between environments, using each terrain to their advantage. In the ice fields, they used the same tricks that had kept them alive in the first challenge. In the desert, they employed the combat skills that had let them dominate the second trial. In the jungle, they showed the endurance that had broken their opponents before. Dr. Smith's voice crackled over their comm units. They still don't understand. Every weapon they use, every tactic they try. We've survived worse on Earth. Our own world threw stronger challenges at us every day. The crystal beings' desperate attack began to falter. Their technology, already damaged from previous challenges, couldn't handle switching between environments. But the humans pushed on, their simple gear and trained bodies adapting to each stone. Watch how they move. Gray's hologram commented to the observers. No wasted energy. No reliance on failing technology. Just pure, evolved efficiency. The final confrontation came in the center of the valley. The crystal being leader, his technology almost dead, faced Captain Tom in the burning desert. How? He demanded. How can primitives be so strong? Tom checked his simple rifle, the same one he'd carried from the start. Because we're not primitive. We're adapted. Everything that makes Earth deadly to you made us stronger. Every challenge you created, our world prepared us for. The crystal being leader lowered his useless energy weapon. We thought we were testing you, but we were only proving what we feared most. That a species who mastered a death world doesn't need advanced technology to be deadly. High Commander Gray's hologram grew to fill the valley. The challenge is over. Earth's team has proven something we never expected. Sometimes the most dangerous species isn't the one with the most advanced weapons. It's the one that evolved in the harshest conditions and survived. The human team gathered, tired but unbeaten. They had shown the galaxy why challenging Deathworlders was a mistake, not because of their technology, but because of what Earth had made them. Survivors, hunters, warriors who never learned how to give up. 1 month after the challenge, the Great Hall of the Galactic Council buzzed with activity. Representatives from 100 worlds gathered to witness something unprecedented, the official recognition of Earth as a major power in the galaxy. High Commander Gray stood before the assembled species, his crystal form reflecting the light of 1,000 stars. Today, we acknowledge our mistake and welcome Earth as a full member of the galactic community. Captain Tom and his team stood proud in their simple uniforms. No fancy technology, no glowing fields, just the quiet confidence of proven warriors. The 3 resource-rich star systems they had won were already being prepared for human colonization. We must share what we have learned, Gray continued. Our fear of Death World species was based on ignorance. We thought advanced technology was the mark of a superior species. The humans proved us wrong. The crystal being leader, now recovered from the final challenge, stepped forward. We have studied Earth's history since the competition. What we found terrified us even more, but also earned our respect. Large screens appeared around the hall, showing scenes from Earth's past. Humans hunting mammoth with spears, crossing oceans in wooden ships, climbing the highest mountains with basic gear, surviving in the harshest deserts with simple tools. Look at their history, the Silicon Life Coordinator commented. Every advancement they made, they earned through struggle and adaptation. Their technology isn't primitive. It's proven, tested by time and survival. Commander Jane watched the images with pride. Everything that made Earth deadly to other species made us stronger. Every challenge forced us to adapt, to survive, to become better. Dr. Smith had been invited to give a presentation to the Council's scientific committee. Earth's gravity made our bones dense and our muscles strong. Our atmosphere's oxygen content gave us exceptional endurance. The constant threats made us adaptable. We're not just survivors. We're the product of millions of years of evolutionary success. The gas giant representative, still humbled by their failure in the challenges, spoke up. But surely now you will abandon your simple ways. Accept advanced technology. Lieutenant Ray cleaned his trusty rifle as he answered. We'll learn new technology, yes, but we'll keep what works. Every tool we carry, every technique we use. They're proven by survival on a death world. We don't need fancy weapons to be effective. High Commander Gray raised his crystalline hands for silence. The Council has made two decisions today. First, Earth will receive the promised star systems. Second, we will create a new category in our classifications, Death World Adaptives, species who evolved on harsh worlds and developed extraordinary capabilities. Tom stepped forward to accept the official documentation. We didn't want to prove we were the deadliest species in the universe. We just wanted to show that being different doesn't mean being primitive. The alien observers had one final question. What should we learn from this? Learn that strength comes in many forms, Jane answered. Learn that surviving a harsh world creates capabilities that no technology can match. But most importantly, learn why challenging a death world species is always a bad idea. As the ceremony ended, the human team prepared to return to Earth. Their simple ship waited among the advanced vessels of other species, no longer looking out of place, but rather carrying its own kind of pride. What now? Ray asked as they boarded. Tom looked at the star map showing their newly won territories. Now we do what humans have always done. Adapt, explore, and survive. But this time, we do it among the stars. The Council watched the human ship depart, carrying the species that had changed their understanding of strength and advancement. They had challenged the deadliest species in the universe, thinking they would prove their superiority. Instead, they had learned a valuable lesson. Sometimes the most dangerous ability isn't advanced technology or special powers, but the simple, unbreakable drive to survive that only a death world can create. As Earth's ship disappeared into the darkness of space, High Commander Gray made a final entry in the galactic records. Note for all future reference: never challenge a death world species. They don't know how to lose, because their world never gave them that option.